the decision to retire, I thought about it and I was like, gosh, is it something that I really want to do? And then I thought about like the concussions that I sustained, and that's really the real reason that I walked away, because of the concussion.
All right, guys, what's going on? This is Brian Jones from PopCulture.com, and joining me today is an NFL great. He's a former member of the San Francisco 49ers, Denver Broncos, and the Washington football team. Has gone to multiple Pro Bowls, has won a Super Bowl, but currently he's making a name for himself in Hollywood. Former NFL tight end Vernon Davis. Vernon, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course. So I wanted to start off with this first. You were recently the voice of the ESPYs, which aired on Saturday. How was that experience, and how did that all come about?
You know what? The opportunity came about in when did it come out? I'd say like 3 weeks ago. My manager Henry Penzi brought it to me. He's been an integral piece in my life, just helping me transition in the next phase of my career. And I'm very thankful to have someone like him in my corner. He brought me the opportunity. The lady who was head of talent, we actually did a commercial together for Samsung many years ago, back when I was in San Francisco. And it's just one of those things that just came to serve. They took a chance on me. It was the first time an athlete ever did something like this. They would normally hire someone who was into voices, doing voiceovers. So, it was just a great opportunity. So I took it.
What was the feedback from, I'm not sure who it was, but what was the feedback from ABC or ESPN when they were watching the ESPYs and heard your voice? Did you hear anything back from them?
Yeah, we actually hung out after the ESPYs, and they were all telling me what a great job I did and how they come back next year, and they thought it was great. I did a great job. So it was just awesome. It was great feedback. It was I was just honored. I was floored, because it was it's something new for me. And anytime you get good critiques back from a job that you were able to do, and it just makes you feel good about your performance, because you're always second guessing yourself. I think especially out there, if it's something new and something you've never done before. So to hear that, gave me some good confidence.
Of course. And you mentioned transitioning from the NFL to Hollywood. And one of the things you're doing, you have a lot of credits so far on your IMDb page, especially when it comes to upcoming things. And you're actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in 2 films with Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah, I did 2 films with Bruce Willis, Gasoline Alley, A Day to Die. Those are coming out. A lot of films that I've done, they're all in post-production. So,
right.
A lot never really seen any of my work, but I'm just waiting on all that work to come, all the work that I did to come out. And I got a film coming up called Muti. We should be in production with that one beginning first week of August.
Okay. And what was the experience of working with Bruce Willis like? Because obviously he's a huge movie star and has done a lot of work over his 30+ year career. What was it like working with him?
Oh, it was great. It was great getting to know him and his team, and, becoming familiar with him. Now where I go, I can just walk up to Bruce and say, "Hey, Bruce." Not every day you're able to do that, but it's an honor. I grew up watching Bruce in Die Hard movies with my granddad when I was a kid. So being able to say I worked with him is a huge honor for me, and I'm sure my granddad's looking down smiling, because he's a huge Bruce Willis fan. So it was a great opportunity.
And looking back, you've appeared in a few films and TV shows, specifically the film Baywatch with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And it's interesting because with The Rock, obviously most people know him from his WWE days, and he was able to transition from WWE to Hollywood, and now one of the biggest movie stars in the world. I don't know how much you were able to talk to him or really connect with him while you were on set, but were you able to take any tips or any advice from someone like Dwayne?
You know what? We didn't really have a chance to chat like that,
Okay.
you know what I mean? And, he went to his trailer and then I went to my trailer, and next thing you know, I was back on the plane. I was in and out But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, just being in his presence and just taking in all that energy and experience. But it was great. It was great to just be there and interact with him. But no, I never really got a chance to really talk to him about the craft.
And when you observe someone like The Rock, what are some of the things you can take away from him as you move forward in your career?
Just his hard work, his dedication, his ambition, his desire to take on so many different projects. It just tells me that, hey, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. And it's all about the work that you put in. The preparation is the biggest part, and that's what he's been able to show year after year. Just showing up in all these different projects. So it's just very inspiring to see that, and knowing that, hey, it's a good thing, because he's someone that I aspire to be like.
Of course. And you mentioned that you have a lot of projects that are in post-production, have worked with several big name Hollywood stars. Is there one actor or just certain movie star that you haven't worked with yet that you would love to in the future?
Yeah, I would love to work with the likes of Denzel Washington, Will Smith, some of the guys I grew up watching a lot. I think that'd be awesome if I can work with those guys. It'd be amazing.
Of course. And when it comes to future films, would you, and I don't know how much you're a fan of comic book movies, but would you like to see yourself in a Marvel film or a DC film?
Oh, I would love to do a DC or Marvel film. That'd be awesome if I can do something like that. I'm a huge fan. Anytime you can get into something like that, I mean, that's huge, man. That's gonna live on for forever.
Is there a certain Marvel or DC film that you like more so, or what's your favorite Marvel or DC film?
I don't know if I have. I really enjoy all of them. There's not one that I dislike. I mean, they do such a good job with their product, man. It's like, gosh, every time something comes out, it's just always good. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I definitely understand.
I'm a big X-Men guy. I'm big. So I would say, if I had to choose one, I would say X-Men for sure.
Yeah, and that's a really good choice. You can definitely see you in an X-Men film. But when it comes to some of your work that you've done on TV, you were recently in Dancing with the Stars. How was that whole experience? Because Dancing with the Stars has become big over the last 15, 20 years. What was it like, and what were some of the challenges that you faced on Dancing with the Stars?
The Dancing with the Stars was a great opportunity. It was a surprising task, and I say that because when I got there, I didn't expect to be on my feet for 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
That was a challenge for me, because you work in these different muscles that you're not used to working, and then just the whole routine and the craft in general, dancing. I'm not a dancer. I've never been a dancer, so to be able to just take that on and have to really own this routine within the first 3 to 4 days is just, so it's a lot of pressure for sure.
Oh, no doubt about that. And one of the things you've also done, you were the host of the Challenge Double Agents reunion show. The Challenge is something that's been on since 1998, and it's only have grown each and every year. Were you a fan of the challenges when you were younger? And what makes the show itself so compelling and able to go on for so long?
Well, I'm a fan of competition in general.
Right.
I wasn't a fan of the challenge show until I started becoming the host of these reunions. So you can't help but to become a fan, because you get sucked into. I have to watch every single episode, and with that, you like, wow, this is actually entertaining. I'm a fan. I love CT. I love Fessy. I love all those guys. Those guys are great. And to be able to sit there and just talk about the show and some of the experiences that they've been through, I think is awesome. I mean, and those guys, they take on a lot. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot riding on them. So everything that they have to go through, I respect it. I truly respect it. I know it's not easy. It's definitely hard, being away from home, being away from your family, and, competing. And then not only just competing, but you're competing against, like, you become friends with some of the people on this show, and then you have to compete against them. I mean, it's brutal.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, I used to watch the challenges quite a bit, and it can be very intense. So I definitely understand that. And speaking of competition, obviously you had a very long and successful NFL career, and you retired not too long ago. When you made that decision to retire, did you feel comfortable with it? Because I've talked to players before, and they struggled with the decision to call a career, and in terms of had they made the right decision, should they go back? Were you comfortable when you made the decision to retire?
Yeah, I was very comfortable with the decision to retire. I thought about it, and I was like, gosh, is this something that I really want to do? And then I thought about, like, the concussions that I sustained, and that's really the real reason that I walked away, because of the concussion. The last concussion that I had light sensitivity for quite some time, and I was like, once I recover from this, do I really want to go back and make things worse? So I just walked away. I was like, look, I have the rest of my life to live, and football is just a step, is a vehicle, one vehicle. Then there's so many other vehicles after football to get you to where you're trying to go in life, whatever that is. But I really thought about it. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go move on to the next thing, which is being creative, from a television standpoint, just being creative, just content, projects, you name it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the health issues, because I think that's something that players still talk about, especially now with the NFL adding a 17th game. Now, they're taking away a preseason game, but some players have been complaining about the fact that there's an extra game that increases their risk for injury. So what are your thoughts on the NFL adding a 17th game? Because they very well could add an 18th game in the future. So do you like the idea of playing an extra regular season game?
No, I mean, I thought it was a lot. I thought 16 games I thought that was a lot itself. I mean, especially if you're talking about still adding those preseason games, you know what I mean? And then an extra game. I mean, this is a brutal sport. I mean, as you can see, and as you know, guys, they're barely making it to the postseason. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, it's just, I mean, does it make sense to add it? I mean, why are we adding 17 games? I mean, it's already enough. You know what I mean? Maybe, yeah. I mean, if you're changing the rules of the game, then I'll say, hey, let me look at it. Maybe it makes sense. Like, how you make it? Is there less contact? I mean, what is what are you changing to justify these 17 games?
And absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. And in terms of your career, you won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, and you spent your final years with Washington, but the majority of the career you were with the 49ers. So I want to get your thoughts on the 49ers for this upcoming season. Do you see themselves, because they were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and it looks like they made some moves to where they're trying to get back into that Super Bowl mix. So what are your thoughts on the 49ers this upcoming season, and what do they need to do to get back into the Super Bowl?
Upcoming thoughts for the 49ers and what they need to get. I think they're doing a great job. I think Lynch over there is really putting things together. He's really making things happen. And I just it's just awesome to see that they're really pivoting and changing things. I mean, when I was playing under Harbaugh, it was years. It took years for us to get to that point until Harbaugh came in, but we eventually turned it around. And then there was a gap where the 49ers started like just derailing and just not doing well at all. You know what I mean? They had to rebuild. They were in that rebuilding process. Then when Lynch came on, they started winning and making Super Bowl appearances. And now, I mean, I think the sky's the limit for them. They're just going to continue to keep getting better because seems like they have a formula and they have momentum that they're riding on. So as long as they can stay consistent and continue to keep building, I think it's going to be all right.
Right. And the last question for me before I let you go is, you're obviously making a lot of moves in Hollywood. Recently, the voice of the ESPYs have some upcoming films that everyone's looking forward to. What is your goal in terms of your Hollywood career? Do you want to be, and you mentioned The Rock, do you see yourself being on the same, I guess, same time, same level as The Rock in the next 10 to 15 years? So, what would be your biggest goal when it comes to your Hollywood career?
I can't say that I see myself being like The Rock because I mean those some big shoes to fill. I mean, The
Yeah.
Rock is, I mean, he's done a lot of projects. He's proven that he can is this mega star. Sorry, he's proven that he is who he is. But you know, I'd like to model my career off of his when it comes to the hard work and dedication that he's putting in, because you never know where things will take you. So I can only say that, you know, you know, I really enjoy the work that he puts in, you know, and you know, for me, it's not about, it's really not about. Of course, we all want to achieve something, but for
Right.
me, I just want to fun, and I just want to just you know work with different projects, work in different projects, and just have fun and just enjoy the journey, enjoy the craft, because that's all it's about. It's about the journey and learning more about yourself. Because the more work you do in this space, the more you learn about yourself, and you're able to heal yourself from different past experiences and everything. So I mean, it's like, it's in a sense, it's also therapy,
Hmm.
also therapy.
Yeah, of course, you're doing all that. And again, I really enjoyed you as a player, and it looks like you're doing great things in Hollywood. So, Vernon, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. And good luck to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. And for more on Vernon and all your favorite sports stars, be sure to keep it locked on popculture.com.